So we're going to be talking about the David McAtee shooting. We have other footage that has came out recently. It's two different angles, one from inside the barbecue joint at Yaya's Barbecue, and one on the outside where the shooting occurred. And we will also be talking about the officer Katie Cruz, who is linked to this shooting, or supposedly linked to the shooting, and her Facebook post in which she was mocking a protester that they had pictures of earlier in the day. So welcome guys to the Neo Digital Podcast. I'm your homie Jolly Dangerous, and this is my co-host Denonu.
What's going on, YouTube?
So getting right into it, we can go into David McAtee's shooting and what I believe would be justified if the other camera footage that they haven't released yet would confirm it.
Okay. Well, what do you think's on the other footage? Is it just showing it from the cops' point of view?
Yeah. So supposedly there's different footages, or the different forms of footage around the complex, or around the area, because they're taking them from local businesses. So there was one that they showed that everyone has seen so far is inside of Yaya's Barbecue, and that's where you can see David walking back and forth. And then you have one on the outside, which is facing towards the parking lot, facing towards the street where the police officers first approached. So when the guns did go off and you see the shooting, you don't really see David McAtee at all. You don't see him shooting at all. So you can't really see what he's doing. On the inside, you can see that he does put his body out the window, hold up his gun, but you can't see him fire because his gun is blocked by the wall. So he did fire, but what they're trying to determine now is who fired first. They're basically doing a Han Solo right now. Who fired first? Was it him or what's his face? And actually, if you watch the footage, you will see that there was an article before that said that he was unarmed. He was not unarmed. He did have a gun. He did shoot at the police. We know that to be fact. But was the shooting justified? Who shot first? Was it the police officers or was it David McAtee? And we can actually, we can't see what goes on, but we can, through speculation, we can see the other side of what happened. And if you pull that up, we can get right into it.
Okay. This one here?
Yep, that one there. There shouldn't be any audio.
Okay.
So you can see here, this is like everyday thing. There's another article that says that during this day, I forgot which day it was exactly, they always do this barbecue type hangout thing where, you know, he'll sell barbecue and they'll just go out there and they'll chill. So you can see here, he's going back and forth, basically doing his job like he usually does.
Okay.
Comes back in, he's basically serving his barbecue.
Did they ever explain, like, well, I guess why he had the gun? Because, I mean, if he's doing something else, then... Okay.
Doesn't explain why he had the gun. We do know, but other articles, like I think CNN has reported that he didn't have a gun at the time, so now we know that to be false. So a few people walking back and forth, typical day. He comes back in. Now this is where the issue occurs.
All right, let me know if you want me to pause it anywhere.
It's a little bit longer than I thought it would be on this angle. All right, so you start seeing like people come inside. So this is where the police officers started showing up to push protesters back into buildings.
Okay, so they're pushing or want to push them back inside the restaurant versus standing outside.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Versus standing outside.
Is this before the curfew was in effect, or
no? This is during the curfew.
Okay.
So this is here, right here. So you see all these people coming back inside. This is the issue. So now you see David McAtee. He's right at the door, and this is where the incident happened. So now everyone is inside,
Okay, so
that's
which one?
She shoots.
Which one is McAtee? The guy in the red shirt, I'm assuming.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So that is where he holds the gun outside and he starts shooting.
Yeah, you do see his arm up.
Yeah. Or I'm sorry, he may not be shooting like that at that point. That's when he gets shot, and he comes inside and he collapses. Now, what the lady's pointing at is the gun.
That looks like I was about to say that looks like a gun on the ground.
Yeah. So that's what the lady on the inside. When she closes the door, that's what she's pointing at is the gun. Now you see him. He reaches out twice.
Yeah.
So the first time that he reaches out, go back.
I'm trying to see if he runs back and drops that gun.
Well, go back right before that, because there's 2 times where he puts his arm out the window. See right there, he puts his arm out the window. We don't know if he's shooting. You see that smoke right there?
Mm.
So there's smoke at the doorway when he goes outside.
Let me watch that one more time. Looks like, see, watch when you can see recoil, or I mean, unless it's just him doing this with his hand.
Mm-hmm.
See how his arm kind of kicks up a little bit?
Yeah. So the other thing is there was a puff of smoke to his left hitting the door.
Yeah, I seen that.
And then there it is again as well. And then that's when he collapses and he drops his gun. So this is the outside view. Everyone is basically minding their own business. There's no looting out here. There's nothing out here that would be seen as like a riot or violent at any point.
Not at all.
I think maybe you can make this a little bit bigger, like a full screen it.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I'll be honest with you. Like when I saw this footage, I was kind of amazed how clear that footage is.
Yeah, he got those good security cameras. So are the cops like clearing the street? Because there's a lot of people on the street right there.
Yep. They were clearing the street. Yeah. This was when they were out there with the pepper ball bullets, with the spray. What do you call those things? Paintball guns.
Okay.
Which is another reason why I say that I feel like this is almost justified in this case where it was more of a self-defense thing.
Yeah. I mean, granted, we don't know who shot based on this video, but
exactly.
It's one of those things where like the cops were taking fire, so I mean, they don't know who has the gun or whatever. They could just approximate where the shots come from, but I mean, people hear shots going off. I mean, why would you stand outside the door? That's my number one question.
Mm-hmm. All right, so...
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, why would he even have his gun out anyway if somebody wasn't shooting at him? That's the weird thing, too. Is that even if they were the cops, if let's say you're pushing everybody back inside the building, you know, why would you hang around on the outside of the door pointing? Or, like, why would you even pull out your gun if you had one? But...
Well, I mean, at that point, you know... Temperatures are flaring, you know, there's emotion going around. There's still news about people getting shot by police or hurt. So you can see here, this is when the cops push forward, and the police officer in the front is supposed to be Officer Cruz. And you can see right here, pause it.
Tear gas right there, yep.
That wasn't tear gas.
Oh, that wasn't?
I want to say that was her because she's the one that's holding the paintball gun. Okay. She shot in that direction. So why would she? So first thing that comes to my mind,
why is she shooting if ain't nobody shooting at her?
Exactly. They already walked into the building. Mm-hmm. They're not around. There's no reason to display your force like that by shooting anything in that area.
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah, they look like they did what they were supposed to.
Yeah, so she just shot in the vicinity of like the table and everything that's close to the door, pepper ball bullets. Now, how are you supposed to know whether that's a real gun or not?
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know. All people are saying, or what they would be saying, is they're shooting at us.
Yeah.
With whatever.
So, yeah.
So at this point, now you're threatening a man's customers, his friends, and you're walking forward with your pepper ball gun. Now, what if she would have kept going into the open doorway and just shot at everybody with her paintball gun? We don't know if that's what she was trying to do, but if you keep playing it, she keeps walking forward as she's shooting. No reason to do that. Now that's when they take off running backwards, and you can see here that you can't see David McAtee at all from this angle. Now you just start seeing the shooting happening.
Okay. So
and that's the doorway that he was in.
So that's him or somebody returning fire or shooting?
Yes. But I mean, as you can see, it's him, because we saw the first camera angle, which was inside the building, showing him shooting outwards. Yeah. But on this angle, what they're saying is, because we can't see where he is, his arm or the gun, we can't approximate who shot first. Well,
hold on. They wasn't even there. They were like down the block and shit. So
right here, I don't know why this camera angle doesn't show it, but the two, you see how she's backing up towards that car? I'm pointing. They were actually behind the car when they were shooting as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing the muzzle flashes too. I'm just curious. Hold on. I'm trying to see, what was that? Was that a beer can or something? That.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I meant. That's what they shot at. They shot at the table with their purple ball bullets. There's no reason to do that. People are already inside. Why are you shooting?
Yeah. So technically, yeah. They shoot non-lethals. They might not count as like a who shot first thing with that.
See, at that point, it's like non-lethals or not, there's no reason to display that force when people are already inside the building.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They should have just kept going or went to somewhere else. Like, I don't see. Now, it'd have been different, like, if they kept coming out there and you heard shots and then you got there and did something. But no, that wasn't the case, or it didn't look like it.
Like, you can never tell if something's non-lethal until you get hit by it.
Yeah.
So just like during the peaceful protests outside of the White House, when they shot at the protesters, a lot of people were getting hit. They didn't know that it was rubber bullets until they realized that they weren't bleeding.
Yeah.
So they're not going to tell you these things. Just like they're not going to tell you, I'm shooting at you with a pepper ball gun.
Yeah, because who's going to announce that shit?
Exactly. All you hear is the recoil from the. I mean, all you hear is the piston from the retort, the CO2 capsule. And then you also notice that they just hit beer cans off of your table.
Yeah, and according to you, that sounds like that could have been bullets hitting that table. You don't know.
Exactly. That could have been bullets. So of course he's gonna go out there and retort with his own weapon to me, showcase that I'm willing to protect mine as well.
Exactly.
So right here, they just walked inside. There's no reason for you to keep shooting.
I'm looking at this the white cop, the first one. Mm-hmm. They may just be firing as they're walking down the street, because you see how he already has his arm up. Just.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they shot the table, and then that, I'm guessing that's the door.
Yep.
Right there.
No reason to. Just tell a person to get inside. That's it.
I'm guessing that muzzle flash there with the puff of smoke is the first shot that he did, but you see how you see sparks and stuff before the muzzle flash.
So that puff of smoke, that wasn't from his gun. That was from the bullets hitting the wall.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
Because afterwards,
I thought that was him shooting. You know.
Mm-mm. It was in another article, I forgot which one it was, but they show like the giant holes that was left inside of the brick next to the door when he got shot. It was 2 there, and they didn't really show any other bullet holes anywhere else, just right next to the door. So for me, at that point, justified or not, police officers have killed other people for less, for holding toy guns,
Yes.
for holding cell phones that look like guns, and then you have a police officer that's coming with a paintball gun with pepper bullets and starts shooting at your people. At that point, it's like, okay, well, why is that justified? Because you're an officer of law? Do you get to just shoot any random thing at somebody who's already complying to you?
Yeah, because they damn sure weren't attacking. They weren't being belligerent. They weren't even outside where you were shooting. So it's like, why?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, why even do it?
Why show that force other than just to do it? Now, the reason I say that is because if you pull up the next article, you'll see who Officer Cruz is.
This lady here?
Yes. So if you scroll down a little bit, so she's allegedly involved in the shooting and death of David McAtee. And Officer Katie Cruz was placed on administrative reassignment in connection with the fatal shooting and posted a newspaper photo of a woman offering her a bundle of flowers while she glared at her from her fellow police officers. I think if you click on that one next to it, you'll see the actual picture.
This here?
No, go up a little bit. You see the Louisville
Courier Journal?
Mm-hmm. I think it's in there. If you scroll down, there it is. So okay. That's the Facebook photo that was circulating.
It kind of reminds me of that famous picture back in the day from the 60s with the hippies where they put in the flowers and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, pretty much. So you can see here, this young lady is holding flowers up to her. Mm-hmm. And honestly, for me, that's a little bit too close. I know you're trying to make a statement, but at the same time, these are police officers, and you can't just be putting your hand in people's face like that. You're already getting into personal space.
Yeah, it's like you're almost daring her to do something, essentially.
Exactly. So peaceful or not, there's still supposed to be boundaries, and she entered those boundaries.
Yeah.
At least for me. Now, I don't see anything wrong with it, but at the same time, I can see why people would be upset. Well, I can see why a police officer would be upset with this.
Yeah.
So the other article that I gave you was the actual Facebook post itself.
For this one here, or?
Not that one. That one.
Okay.
You should, there you go, right there. So you can read what she was saying.
Yeah, she was saying and doing a lot more than offering flowers to me. Just so for it to be known, for anyone that knows me and knows that my facial expression tells everything. I was going to mention something about that. P.S. I hope the pepper balls that she got lit up with hurt a little later on. Wow, you really just gonna post emotes and everything too? Come back and get you some more, old girl. I'll be on the line again tonight. Well, what did she say? And what did she do?
We don't know what the girl said. But again, like when I see it, it looks like a photo opportunity. At the same time, the girl could have said something. We can't tell if she said anything. But honestly, it could be one of those, it's gonna look sincere, but it's gonna be the least sincerest thing you can do.
Yeah, that's like, it looks, and it's like, I could be wrong, I wasn't there, but when I look at it, there is no reason, and I even mentioned it, this before the video, there's no reason why that cop will go on Facebook and leave that message. Unless they had some kind of altercation, or she was trying to dare it, like almost as like she was daring the cop to hit her or arrest her or do something, as if like somebody was filming it.
Wait a minute, something's playing in the background.
Oh, it is?
Maybe it's me.
Yeah, I don't got nothing playing on mine. Oh wait, hold on. Let's get this. Oh, that's me. So.
Nope, it's me. I got it.
Okay.
My apologies. Go ahead.
But yeah, it's like almost like she was daring her to do it, almost. Kind of like as if because a lot of activist people do that too. It's like you get somebody to film you, and they be like, okay, don't take the camera off me, and then they go and do something, and while the other person films it. Maybe she wanted to get a reaction or a violent reaction out of her and film it on camera to prove something, or to, you know, make it seem like the police are bad. Maybe it could be something like that. Maybe she spit on her, cussed her out, or did something, but she didn't do anything there, I'm assuming. So she said something on Facebook later on and was talking much shit. Because otherwise, if somebody was just handing her flowers, and let's say she took one and that was it, why would she go on Facebook saying, oh yeah, get some, you know, come get some of this? Yeah. It makes no sense. So yeah, something had to be done. And I'm assuming, what's her name in the checkered shirt may be the aggressor, but again, we don't know. Maybe she told her to get back and she was like, fuck you, I'm not getting back. I can get as close as I can. You can't do shit. You know, maybe it could have been something like that. That kind of,
here's some flowers, bitch. Nah.
Yeah. You know, it's like, like daring her to do something, like you ain't gonna do shit. And then when something popped off and they had to shoot him with the rubber bullets, and then she feels justified in saying, oh yeah, she probably thought nobody was gonna see that message. I mean, that's unprofessional, you know, by any means. She should have just left it alone. But this is the internet, you know. What do they call that site? The way back machine. Oh yeah. Can't do nothing on the internet without going back.
So in seeing that, still speculation. We don't know what she said, if she said anything. It could be a cop trying to justify what she did or how she was looking. It could be a protester that was talking shit, daring her to do something. We don't know. What we do know is, because Officer Cruz put that post on Facebook, now she has an investigation being on that now. So they are investigating that post and like for further review. And she has been reassigned for the shooting death of David McAtee. Now there's another officer involved too, which is the officer right next to her, was another man. We can't find any information about this dude at all, other than his picture every now and then.
The white shirt or the black shirt?
So this right here, this was earlier. This didn't have anything. This wasn't even around the David McAtee shooting in the first place. Right. Remember, they pushed up a few blocks. So this could have been, well, not could have been. This happened before that happened. Okay. And there are, if you Google Officer Cruz, I forgot her first name, whatever. If you Google her,
Katie Cruz.
There you go, Katie Cruz. You would find a picture of her and the other officer side by side. Again, I haven't seen his name anywhere. He has not made any Facebook posts. Smart man. And both of them are under investigation because those are the two officers that did not have their body cam footage activated.
So they were obviously doing some dirt if they didn't turn it on.
Yeah,
I would assume.
So
allegedly,
yes. So on the bigger scale of things, if you were to look at these things side by side and comparison to each other, you have an officer that is talking shit about a protester unprofessionally, whether it's warranted or not. And she's talking about harmful things like getting hit with pepper ball bullets. And then on the other video with David McAtee, you see her push forward and shoot in the general direction, or closely to that direction of where the Yaya's barbecue patrons went into the door. If no one was outside, there was no need to shoot. There was no need to display force. So if you have someone that's already talking shit to protesters inside of a Facebook post, then just using logic, 2 + 2 is 4, then she would necessarily be the aggressor in that moment and shooting first, even if it was non-lethal force. Yeah.
The only thing I could think of is let's say, you know how the cops went down the street and then they shot at the table and stuff? If that was like the second or third time they did that, maybe they came by the first time and say, hey, look, go inside. And then they kept, let's say the black guys kept coming back out. You know, granted, they still shouldn't have shot, but still.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it was something like that where they just kept coming out and not staying in the house, and they just was like, okay, well, we're gonna do this instead because it's obviously not working.
At that point, if that was true, then that would be justified. But the amount of time and amount of people that were already out there, it didn't show that they have already been by.
Yeah.
Because when they came by, everyone cleared out. Cars moved, cars left. There was nobody in the street. They basically took the whole block and made all those people go inside that building. At that point, it's like, well, I don't think there were any other words. Because if they were already going to shoot somebody like that, just by going into the building, they would have shot somebody before.
Yeah. Because they're brazen enough to do it. So, I mean, and who knows how much dirty shit they're doing during all of these riots when you know nobody has a camera on them. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's tons of stuff that's been going on that we just don't have pictures and don't have videos of. So
exactly, if you won't activate or had your body cam off during something like that, what else is out there that's been done that we don't have evidence of that you won't also activate your body cam footage for?
Mm-hmm. Because otherwise they would have been on the whole time. You don't got nothing to hide, so why turn it off?
So of course there will be another update video if more video does surface with the other camera angle, but right now all this is speculation. This is just from what we can see. I still think that the officer may have shot first, even though they didn't shoot with a lethal weapon. They shot with a non-lethal weapon, but there was no reason to display that kind of force there. Also, if David McAtee is inside the building with his gun, there's no way for him to identify whether that was an actual gun or not. All you do here is the retort of some kind of weapon and the impact of cans and the table being shot at. If that was me, I would have assumed that that was an actual gun, whether that be a 22 or not, because 22s can sound just like, you know, those kind of guns with CO2 cartridges. If I would have heard that, that would have cued me on, okay, these people are out here shooting at my people. And at that point, what would you do? Would you allow yourselves to be killed, or would you try to defend yourself, no matter who it was?
Is this I didn't see by the articles. I should have been looking. Is this Minneapolis where what's his name died at, or is this?
This is Louisville.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure that's not the safest place when it comes to racism. So I was thinking if this was the same place and cops are going around, killing people, then nobody feels safe when the cops come to try to talk to them or arrest them. So it could be something like that too.
I feel that no one feels safe anywhere. This news has gotten so big that it reached all the 50 states. I think it's a police issue where if you're a police officer right now, nobody feels safe. And vice versa. I think if you're a police officer, that you don't feel safe around BLM protesters.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of there's some areas that's like, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was that's what I was about to say. Like, I think it's more of an urban thing, because like here in my area, cops are still around out there every day. It's like nothing's changed. People protesting, but that's it. Clean protest, no problems. I'm pretty sure cops are probably there, but I know Baltimore, 30 minutes north, DC, 30 minutes south. That's not the case. So. I think it's more of like a urban situation type thing, where if you're in an urban area or a major metropolitan city, then shit's jumping off. That's just the way it is.
Well, I mean, in Houston, nothing's like that happening. We've had protests. Yeah, we've had protests the last, I want to say, week or two, and it's all been peaceful. Just a ton of people outside. There's been no looting here, not that I know of. There's been no like damage to property. There's been no unlawful arrests. There's been no injuries. So I do believe that it's in those major cities where these issues happen. Louisville, for one, because of David McAtee, and then you have Atlanta with those college students, which is like Atlanta's was already in a riot situation, looting situation before those college students happened, and then you also have Minneapolis.
Yeah.
So I think in those cities that have those issues and the rioting happening, I feel that if you are a police officer there, you're not trusted right now by anybody.
Yeah,
and vice versa.
And you definitely got a target on your back too.
Exactly.
And it could be one of those things where all of these issues that we're seeing on Twitter, Facebook, and social media, cops are seeing that too when they're off time and in their personal lives. So it could be it's all feeding each other in like one big ass fucking, infinity symbol. I forget what they call that, or a circle. It could be one of those things like that too. The police are seeing all the violence that they got to deal with and only seeing it from other cops and stuff like that. We're seeing it from the victim side of things, being black people and people of color. So we're seeing only the negative side of things as far as what the police are doing and getting mad and upset. They're getting mad and upset. So tensions are high on both sides, and I'm pretty sure that it's everybody needs to calm down, but at the same time, it is what it is. Like you said before, there's no change without violence. So
when you bring up that infinity symbol thing, I immediately think about Google. How depending on what side of the politic they're on, right or the left, they're going to be seeing different news articles for each one. Yep. If you're a Republican and you're right wing, you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff, a lot of information and news articles that feeds into that rhetoric about how Black Lives Matter is nothing but a bunch of thugs, it's nothing but riots, it's nothing but looting and that kind of thing, and the danger to us all. That's what feeds that machine. If all you've done is look that kind of stuff up, just like on the left side, where if you look up Black Lives Matter, you will see nothing but police officers doing the most brutalist of things to people. And you're not seeing the whole story about how there are police officers out there that's marching with BLM protesters. They're there, they're listening, they're paying attention, they're taking a knee, that kind of thing. But what you get is, look at them being violent towards us, this is why we're out here. And the other side is, look at why they're being violent towards us, this is why we're out here. And they're not seeing the middle ground. They're not seeing what the other person is seeing, what information they're getting, and seeing how they can communicate with each other, as opposed to like be that driving force to just protect everything but still be peaceful.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right about that. It's Google's and the internet doing what the internet does, which is push information to you that you want to see. And it's just following people's browsing patterns and stuff like that. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm pretty sure there's a lot that gets cut off from the other side if all you watch and look up is one thing or another. So that makes absolute sense. All right, so did you want to talk about anything else, or
no? That's it. So that's it for this one. You guys, if you're watching this, you can see what happened. You can come up with your own speculation. What do you guys think in the comments below? Do you think he shot first? Do you think it was justified? Do you think the police shot first? Let us know that. And if there's anything else that you guys want our opinions on, our reaction to, let us know in the comments. Drop us a line. We are here to talk to you guys and keep the conversation moving.
Yep.
Okay, Pete. Such a fucking awkward way to end the fucking show.